Hey, everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Advocate Information Highway. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and I wanted to apologize to all of my fans out there. Uh, I want, about the fact that I could not host my shows yesterday of Equality and Rights for All that I normally host on Spreaker.com, and then my Thursday episode of Advocate Information Highway that I host here on my YouTube channel. But because for the past few days, the area that I live in, we've been without power, so there was no way for me to host my shows. So I wanted to apologize to all my fans out there about that. But I just hosted my another episode of my show, Disabled Reality, on Spreaker.com, and now I'm hosting another episode of this show, Having an Information Highway on YouTube. So, but we have a great topic for today's show, in which it is the GOP in the United States Senate deliberately wanted to screw up the upcoming relief package so Trump can just make an executive order on the upcoming relief package. For months, and I mean for months, the GOPs in the United States Senate sat on the bill that was passed by the Democrats uh, in the House of Representatives. And once the Republicans in the United States Senate sat on it, and they did it deliberately so that way they can squash the bill that was passed in the United States House of Representatives. And then once the Senate did that, the United States Senate decided to come up with their own bill in which the Democrats in the United States House of Representatives squashed that bill. And so McConnell and the GOPs, the United States Senate said to the Democrats uh, the United States House of Representatives, they said to them that, okay, you know what? As far as we're concerned, you guys can go make a deal with Trump, and whatever you guys come up with, we'll just say okay to that, and that's it. And um, the Democrats from the United States House of Representatives met with the Trump administration to discuss the upcoming relief package, and it did not go very well, to say the least. And this was deliberately done so Trump can just turn around and say, "I'm going to make an executive order and to pass it," and all because of the fact that this was a political stunt done by Trump and to try to make Trump look good. And really, no matter what Trump does, cannot make himself look good because he's been a screw up for years now. And even if he does this one good thing, it doesn't uh, uh, it doesn't change all the bad things that he's done. And even if he does this, even if he does this executive order, if he does one good thing, people are still, gonna realize the fact that he only did one good thing, really, throughout all these years in the White House, and like he only did one good thing, and that was it. And so they're really people are not really going to vote for him in November, and that's another thing, you know, because this is election time, and November is just right around the corner, and you know, for years, no, well, for months, I shouldn't say years, for months, the Democrats in the United States House of Representatives have been uh, wanting to have in this upcoming relief package money for the states and local governments, in which that money goes to help all 911 responders, okay, teachers, sanitation workers, and so on and so forth. And you know, the Republicans just really didn't want to have anything to do with that. And speaking about all this, Trump screwed over the workers of the United States Postal Service, which are federal workers, by the way. And, he's telling them you will not get your uh, stimulus money, that was already approved by Congress, by the way. And he said, you're not going to get that money unless if you do what I want and raise your prices and all this and that. And really, that's bullying. That's bullying. And you can't do that. It was already approved by Congress for a certain amount of money to be given to the United States Postal Service workers. And um, so basically, Trump screwed them out of that. So how is that right, ladies and gentlemen? I want all the people out there, all my fans out there listening, and I want you to remember that in November that Trump screwed over all these federal workers, and he didn't just do that to them by not giving them their rightful money that's due to them, but when Trump appointed one of his uh, cronies to be the head of the United States Postal Service workers, that guy just screwed up the whole damn thing and made matters even a gazillion times worse. And a lot of post offices are on the verge of closing down. Uh, so the United States Postal Service is in really, really bad shape now, and much worse than it was ever before because Trump screwed them over. And um, and he really wanted to do this also not just to be a bully, but with the upcoming election, he wanted to screw over the mail-in ballots, and so this was a political stunt too. So you know, you're messing with people's lives, with their and with the lives of their families, and by holding this money, they rely upon that money to survive, and you're not giving them what's rightfully theirs. Seriously, that money is so important to all these workers and their families, and you screw them all over. And Trump wanted to do this, especially because he wanted to manipulate the ballots, the mail-in ballots. People are going to be doing, and so like I said, this was a political stunt done by Trump. But the Democrats, you know, especially the ones in the United States House of Representatives, they're smart to all this. You know, they know what he's trying to do, and it's really going to backfire on him. And as a matter of fact, to help people, to really, really help people that want to do the mail-in ballots correctly, in a future episode of this show, Advocate Information Highway, I will be showing people how to properly fill out the mail-in ballot form and to how to properly sign it and send it out. And people have to request the application for the mail-in ballot. They have to request it very early. You can't wait for the last second to do this stuff. And I'm sure there's still going to be people going to the polls to vote. I'm not denying that, but it's also important to remember for the people who cannot get to the polls, who also want to vote, who are legally entitled to vote. So, they're important too. So, it's just to be fair to everybody all across the board. And um, Trump just really wants to manipulate this whole thing because he knows very, very well that come November, you know, he's out the door. He's done. People are not going to really vote for him. He's going to have some voters, don't get me wrong, but he's not going to get the majority of the votes. He's not going to get it. and he's going to do everything in his power to try to manipulate the upcoming election. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's going to backfire on him. So, there's karma is an SOB. And what goes around comes around. And when it comes around, it comes back 3 times fold, and each one is worse than the ones prior. So watch out for that third one. So, anyways, I wanted to remind all my fans out there that when you when you go to my YouTube channel to watch my shows, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. It'll be very, very helpful. And I also wanted to remind all my fans about my business, my website, which is Advocate Information Highway. And the link to there is awldny.com. And you guys can check out all the pages on there. And please don't forget to go to the donations page. Whatever amount of money that you can donate is greatly appreciated. And you can also check out the work that I've done on the blog page of the website. I fixed that; it's done properly now. You guys can check out all the articles on there, and you can comment on them. And again, I do hope to speak to everybody again next week, next Thursday and Friday, for my shows. And as long as we have service, I can host my shows. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.